Welcome back everyone to another GearBlocks dev diary. Quite a lot has been updated in the latest demo build, but rather than go through all the changes, I thought I'd quickly pick out just a few things to show you. So let's have a look under Options, under the Controls settings. So there's now a new Key Bindings tab, and here you can bind keys to the various operations in the game, as you'd expect. So for example, if we want to change clone instead of being bound to Q, we can just click here, press C, and now it's bound to the C. If you want to rebind it back to Q, just click again, press Q, and so on. If we want to unbind the key altogether, you just click it and then click again on the button, and now it's not bound to anything. There's one other small subtlety. If you want to bind the left mouse button to an operation, obviously you can't do that by just clicking on the button because it's going to unbind. So what you have to do instead is just click somewhere else outside the button. Like that, just click and left mouse button is bound. But for now, let's put it back to Q. Okay, let's have a look at the lights in the game. Now, instead of choosing a different coloured light from the part inventory, we can now use the painter tool to change the colour of the light. So let's have a look. Pick a colour here, and then paint the light. You'll see the light's lens changes colour, and the light itself changes. And I can choose another colour, and again, the light colour changes, or goes back to white if I remove the colour altogether. And this can be used now to change the colour of the lights to pretty much whatever colour we want, and offers a lot more flexibility over what was available before. Another thing that can be done with the lights is you can now assign a key to them to turn them on and off, much like you would with a motor or a servo. So if we hover over a light, hold down Shift and hold down E, we bring up the part behavior menu for the light. And now I can click on the trigger key button and bind it to a key. So let's say bind it to that key. If we switch this on again, let's actually bind another one as well, why not? Switch it on, let's switch all the lights on. Now these lights are actually switched on as such, but they're not showing up until I hold down the key that I bound, like that. So whenever I hold down the key, the lights turn on. And you can imagine using this to perhaps bind to the same key as you would to brake your car to the brake lights on the back, so they would come on whenever you're braking, for example. And there's lots of other applications I'm sure that you could use for it. Okay, last of all, let's have a look at the differential in the game. Now, one of the problems with the differential is that if one of the wheels isn't touching the ground, then it'll just kind of spin uselessly without moving the vehicle forward or backwards. Now, in real-world vehicles, this is counteracted by using a limited slip differential. And there's now a sort of approximation of this in the game. So if you hover over the diff and hold down Shift and press E to bring up the part behavior menu, you can now choose a slip limit strength. And now, as you can see here, that the vehicle has more traction and it's able to move. And it does this by resisting the rotation of the planetary gear in the middle here, and that prevents the wheel that isn't contacting the ground from spinning up quite so much. Okay, well that's it for this update. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you next time.